So I want to really briefly talk about this. For a long time, I've always bragged about being a Final Fantasy fan. Hell, I mean, to this day, I still kind of sort of do it in an offhanded type of way. But last night, having completed my projects for today, and not a whole lot really going on, I thought I really kind of just want to play a game for myself. No streaming, no recording, just something that I can just enjoy, right? And when it comes to Final Fantasy games, there are a lot of games from the series that I really enjoy. 6, 8, 10, 10-2, 13. I wanted to play something that I didn't have any ongoing projects for. And I had picked up Crisis Core, the PC remaster, remake, whatever, on sale, and it's been sitting in my library for a couple of days. And I'm like, well, I'm not the biggest fan of Final Fantasy VII, so there's not really going to be a whole lot of point in me doing any serious project with that game. So maybe I'll just play Crisis Core, because I played that on the BSP and I had a blast. I beat that game 2 or 3 times, 100%ing it each time I did. I opened up the game. I wanted to play it with controller. Closest thing to the PSP experience that I could possibly get. And there was a problem in that the game's inputs don't work when you use controller. Apparently, you hold down a button in order to cast materia spells, and the game just thinks that you're holding down that button all the time, even though you aren't. This means that every face button on the controller is going to cast a spell, which means that there are no regular attacks. Every button is a spell button or a dodge. And at first I thought, well, that's kind of annoying. And I went and I looked up if there was any sort of fix. This is a known problem that has existed since the game got released. And I did find a video that could have potentially been a solution to the problem. But then I stopped myself and said, you know what? No. Ever since I was a kid, I always dreamed of working for Square Enix. I used to say, well, even if they just have me go and fetch coffee for people, I would love to be just in their office working and say that I work for Square Enix, the company that makes the franchise that I've loved since before I could read. And ironically, despite their attempts to be DEI friendly, fetching coffee is probably the only thing that they would hire someone like me for. But for most of my adult life, Square Enix has seen a severe drop in quality, not just with the story of their games, also their mechanics, their focus, just their entire direction of the series and the company has just been in a steep decline for a long time. The reality here is that I don't work for Square Enix, and I'm sick and tired of having to go and fix issues that they should have fixed. Crisis Core came out... Crisis Core came out in 2022. The first part of Final Fantasy Remake came out that same year. Final Fantasy 16 came out in 2024. Well, or at least the PC version of it came out in 2024. All of what I'm talking about is the PC versions. So there's been plenty of time for Square Enix to realize that there's a problem and get off of their asses to fucking fix it. And they haven't done so. These aren't their spin-off indie titles. These aren't third-party games. These are their flagships franchise that has carried their company since like the 80s or 90s. Every single time in recent memory that I've opened up a PC port from Square Enix, it has been some sort of fight, some sort of struggle, some sort of nightmare. And I'm absolutely sick of it. And it's incredibly frustrating because when I talk to other people who are supposed fans of the series, they're not telling me, oh, don't worry about this one, you can trust this one, it's a good port or a good game. No. What they're telling me is they'll say, it works for me. And I need you to understand that there's a difference between a game being functional and good and working versus a game that works for a specific individual under a specific set of circumstances. There's a reason why I don't own the Pixel remasters of Final Fantasy. I don't trust them. I can't trust them. There's a reason why I didn't bother with that Final Fantasy Origins or whatever it was. I especially don't trust it and don't even think that that looked like a good time. Square Enix has been reporting more and more about low sales, and I'm like, well, no fucking shit. Obviously, the PC market is one of the big players. Maybe not so much in Japan, but it is growing globally. And these video games aren't exactly cheap. In fact, they're getting more and more expensive as time passes. But the quality of them is going down. Funny how that works out, huh? Ultimately, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, well, this has happened so many times that it doesn't really matter if the next game they put out is any good. It doesn't matter if the Evilist Chronicles of Final Fantasy Tactics is any good. Because it doesn't erase all of the terrible experiences that I've been having since 2022 and even before then. World of Final Fantasy is still a game that you have to essentially break and install third-party files in order to get it to launch properly. Final Fantasy VII Remake runs like shit for no reason. Final Fantasy XVI runs like shit for no reason. Like, when was the last time anybody's played a Final Fantasy game on PC and actually had it run? Yeah, I know when. It's Final Fantasy XII, the Zodiac Age, or whatever it's called. I'm way more excited to go back and play a PlayStation 1 game than I am to play anything that they've been putting out in recent times. And while I could have emulated Crisis Core and played it that way, I decided that I would take the Advent Children approach and quote Cloud and say, you know what? How about you just stay in my memories, where you belong? In the end, I ended up picking up a game about slot machines and playing that for 2 hours until I got tired and then went to sleep. Not exactly a great way to, start my birthday, but I don't want to spend too much time on it because I do want to try and enjoy the day. But it's just a real shame that the series that I love the most is basically ground into nothing now. And the more I see people talk about how much they love X or Y Final Fantasy game, the more happy I am to distance myself from it. They either choose to ignore the glaring issues that are going on with the franchise and the company, or they never knew what it was like to not have these problems, and I find that absolutely sad. There are plenty of indie games that have managed to pull off the feel and the tone of what it is I'm searching for, and that's where I need to spend more of my attention. I just wish that more of them would move away from the Metroidvania 2D Souls-like thing, because that's getting old. No, that's been old. Anyway, I'm off to go cook something. I'm hungry. Video will be coming at the usual time. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in a more positive video. Eventually.